I don't think anyone's going to give me their phone number now. No one knows what's going to happen. There's a whole bunch of people who came in. You all want to come in before we start? Come on in. There's a lot of people in the front. Thank you, Don, for all of your service to our state and our city. And I think we're all looking forward to very soon, hopefully, seeing you serving our country in some capacity. So we're all waiting with bated breath for that. It's an honor to be here, and it is a huge honor to serve this community. It's especially an honor to serve this community with my great council colleagues, and I'm really glad that they all could be here today. I'd also like to thank John and Diane Chilton, who are somewhere wearing orange. John and Diane, where's your hands? John and Diane, I asked Diane if she would help with the campaign, and the next thing she knew, she was organizing the kickoff. So, which is how these things happen, and John and Diane deserve a lot of credit for their hard work to make this happen. And I know the Majestic team has already been thanked, but we just got to thank them again. This is such a gem in Alexandria, and for them to open their doors when they've got a busy lunch business right before and they got a busy dinner business right after is incredibly generous of them. So let's give them a round of applause, and please make dinner reservations soon. Thank you to my wife Lisa and my daughters Janelle and Jillian, who are running around here somewhere. This really wouldn't be possible without their support. When I first ran for office, I was given some sage advice that you should focus on one or two things. Well, anyone who knows me knows that's much easier said than done. And it looks like my two daughters have inherited the same gene. Janelle is already working to organize an environmental program at her elementary school, and Jillian is setting up some form of a medical clinic in our pantry. I'm pretty sure she's going to need a city permit for that, but we're working on that. And if you ask either of my daughters, it may surprise you that they would tell you that the family color is orange. 6 years ago, when I first ran for council, I talked about planning for tomorrow as my campaign slogan, about our need to expand our parks, improve our schools, make government more transparent and accountable and predictable for residents and small business owners, about our need to apply environmental principles to development in our city, to develop a new transportation vision for Alexandria, to make Alexandria a safer place for walking and biking, and our need to improve our budget process with regular program audits and increased accountability. Well, I'm here to say that after 6 years, we've made enormous progress on all of those things. Our schools are improving, and families are staying in Alexandria instead of moving out of the city for other school districts. We have expanded recycling, preserved more open space, and added new environmental standards to development. Our business regulations and taxes have been simplified. We've added new crosswalks and sidewalks and bike lanes throughout the city. We have a new transportation plan with an enormous emphasis on mass transit. We have started a process of government reform that is best represented by one of the most transparent budgets, along with one of the lowest tax rates and overall tax burdens in the region. And we have developed a forward-looking economic sustainability plan to help us pull out of this economic downturn. We have been busy. Everyone in this room has been busy. And everyone in this room deserves credit for this work. This isn't work that happens because of the work of one person or even a couple people. This is work that happens because of the work of all of us as a community together. And everyone in this room deserves credit. Everybody. We all know there's more to do. And we need everybody to pull together like never before. I don't have to impress upon you the severity of our economic challenges or the great risk that they're going to get worse before they get better. But we can be optimistic, while we can be optimistic about our ability to weather this storm, we have to be realistic about the very hard choices we're going to have to make over the next few years. There are two big questions that should overarch everything that happens in this campaign. The first is, what values and priorities do we bring to manage the hard decisions during this downturn? And the second question is, what is the vision for our city to build upon as we come out of this? In that light, planning for tomorrow as a campaign slogan takes on a whole new meaning. We need to talk about economic sustainability, environmental leadership, and educational excellence, and most importantly, about service. It starts with economic sustainability. I will continue to champion improving the efficiency and transparency of our government and the safety of our community. I will continue to work to help businesses create jobs and bring services and revenues to our city and citizens. We have to finish our work on the waterfront and West End planning, and I'll push to implement our transportation master plan. We have to be environmental leaders. As co-chair of our award-winning Eco City Alexandria initiative, I am proud of the progress we have made to take care of our natural resources. But we must do more. It can save us money, it can create new jobs, and it can help our planet in the process. Educational excellence has to be at the front of our plans. As the chair of Governor Kane's School Readiness Task Force, I led the effort to create statewide standards so that more children show up for kindergarten ready to succeed. I fought for new funding for early childhood education in Alexandria, and we must continue fighting for early childhood education, as well as bringing new math and science and arts programs to our schools and bringing increased accountability for our students. There is a lot to do. Government can't do it all, especially in these times. Especially in these times. Everybody in this room and everyone in the city has a role to play. Alexandrians always come together to support each other. That spirit of service is needed now more than ever. And I'd like to share a few examples of Alexandria's commitment to service. Carolyn Kaysen, who is here today and doesn't know I'm talking about her, wanted to help the environment. And she came to me and some others in the city a little while ago, and on her own volition, she applied for a grant to put compact fluorescent light bulbs in low-income houses in Alexandria, helping the residents lower their energy bills and helping the planet at the same time. The Maury PTA, and I think there's a few Maury parents here today, has created this fantastic environmental program for the school. Parents have expanded recycling, composting, and cut down on energy use at the school. And every PTA in this city has great stories of commitment and service. John Humphrey, who is also here today and didn't know I was going to mention it, has been working for the last few years to organize hundreds of faith-based organizations committed to equality for all Virginians, regardless of race, gender, or sexual orientation. His efforts have put Virginia one step closer to realizing that dream when every Virginian is treated equally. Audrey Faden, who is not here because she's probably working in the park, has been quietly working for years to turn Simpson Field Park into one of the most amazing horticultural sites in Northern Virginia. With her team of volunteers, she is lugging hoses and rocks and soil in the morning and in the afternoon and in the evening, and even late at night she's watering plants because those particular species have to be taken care of at certain times of the day with certain temperatures. She's laboring because she loves the city and she wants to make sure our parks are better. And then there's Maura Binder, who struggled to both manage her job as well as make sure her daughter Katie would be ready for kindergarten when she started this past fall. With our community's help, the help of the City Council and the community, all of you, she was able to send her daughter to Hopkins House. And I can report that Katie is doing very well in kindergarten, thank you. There are countless stories about children like Katie in Alexandria, from Hopkins House, Alive, the Companion Center, and the Child and Family Network Centers. Amazing stories. When Alive's food pantry was robbed this past spring, they lost over $2,000 worth of canned goods right at the time when demand for food was going up, and it's still going up today. Once the theft became public, Alexandria responded with an overwhelming compassion. Giant Food donated a semi-trailer truck full of food. Community groups, churches, condo associations all held food drives. Within 2 weeks, the Food Matters restaurant collected 2 trailer truck loads of food. And in the weeks that followed, more people gave money and food to help Alive. And lastly, I want to talk about a little boy, recently adopted from China, who was attending a community holiday event not too long ago. He stood in front of the tree and said he wanted to help the children. So he reached into his little pocket and he rustled around and he pulled out $4. Although he was very frightened of the big man, as he called Santa Claus, he overcame that fear because he desperately wanted to give that money to help the children at Carpenter Shelter. Each of you in this room could tell similar stories to these. Alexandria is full of these stories. We could fill pages and pages. It is stories like these that more than anything else define who we are as Alexandrians. This is who we are. This is why we are all here. And this is why I'm running for re-election to the City Council. And this is why I'm asking for your help. Please join me in this campaign of service as we plan for tomorrow. Please help us keep Alexandria moving forward. Please help us reinvigorate that spirit of service and community that makes this city so strong and so incredible. And please vote in the Democratic caucus on January 31st. I appreciate you all being here. Happy holidays. Make sure to shop on King Street. Thank you very much.